I won't, honestly. When I get him going, we're Gucci.
Either way.
I'll sit there. I'd rather sit there.
As long as you're comfortable.
Yeah. I'd rather be.
As long as Connor actually shows up, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I seen him walking. It's a joke, by the way, how much he's late. To the point where, like, I'm annoyed because of him. Like, mate, it's.
No, I was waiting over there.
We watched you running down the toilet, running down about. We watched you, mate.
You got your belt.
Apparently.
Hey?
You're sick.
I'm sick of you being late.
And you were late.
He was being on.
Well, I wasn't to know the location. Secret location.
Neither did I.
And then knackered.
You work it out, mate. You work it out.
Well, that's what I did. Me and Jack got it sorted.
Well, Jack's late and all.
No, I was waiting for him.
Nice. Well, mate, you know what I mean? You can't be having that.
Sorry about him.
You can't be having that.
Sorry about both of you. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'm about to walk out and the podcast hasn't even started.
I'm not ready for this. I thought you were sick.
I'm fine. What, you're not going to touch my hands now?
Keep my elbow.
Wow, that hurt him to do that. That hurt him to do that.
We're in.
In a seat. Then look, Flynn.
Where would you like to
To
sit?
be fair, Connor is good on the mic, so.
No.
So where would I like to sit but not there? Got it.
Yeah, anywhere but there.
Got it, so I haven't had this option.
Is that what you like?
That's the Chiefs chair.
Oh, I'm in the sun and I don't really vibe with sun, really.
Oh, are you Scottish or something?
I don't vibe with Son either.
What is
Apart from Young Man.
Huh?
Apart from Young Man.
No, Human son.
No, he's good.
On the wing.
You've got a bit of food in your teeth. That's in between that one.
Thank you.
For the pod.
Jeez, I wonder if people are going to be able to understand the three of us when we get on a roll
That's
here.
true, yeah. That is true.
Wait, when are we starting?
We've started.
Have we actually?
Yeah.
Are we actually on? Are we actually on? Are we not?
That's the trick of it, mate. We're already going.
Are we actually going right now?
Oh, we're live.
You've got a good wife, mate, and she does. I've
got a good wife. You're joking. What have I done?
I really need those 150 quid darts.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do
Get
need
them,
them.
mate. They work better.
Maybe that's why I'm not any
Exactly.
better.
Is that posture comfy?
No.
To win in just like amateur golf at the time feels like everything. Like it feels like your full life. Feeling like almost homesick.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this actually. This isn't what I had in my mind.
I'm happy. I'm doing well. But you're always wanting a bit more.
All right, enough small talk. Let's get into this, boys. Welcome to the Buffalo Trace Life on Tour podcast. What a scene. What a setting. It's your new home, Ubo.
Yeah, well.
Is he his apartment?
Yeah, you actually can.
Where?
No, you can't. It's behind another building. But
I know, but that
is there.
was his old building there, and
Yeah.
then just behind that.
Which one? The fifth tallest one?
Put it this way: the biggest and the best. That's where he's at.
Yeah. Put it this way.
Are you on the far left
Yeah,
one?
I like that. If it's got the best view, it's that one.
The far left one?
Do you know the one with the spikes up it? The one with the kind of spiky tops. Spiky top.
There's a lot of spikes.
No, the ones with the looks like it's unfinished at the top.
Yeah,
There's a glider going over it now.
Yeah.
Aye, the one just short
Is that
of
your one?
Aye, just short of that, bro.
Oh, the small one.
That chocolate ball, wasn't it?
Fantastic. Well, you know, we're in Dubai, but we've got two hearty Scotsmen joining me, Connor Syme,
From Answer.
Ewen Ferguson.
Partly from
Well,
there.
speaking of Scottish, Ewen Mackenzie Stewart Ferguson.
Doesn't get much more Scottish than that.
That'll be me.
Guilty.
That'll be me.
That is outrageously Scottish.
Cheers, bro.
But boys, I guess the great thing about golf is that brings a lot of us together. Much like a good whiskey, it brings a lot of us together. But like you guys have been together for a seriously long time. Can you give us a brief love story of where you boys first met?
Who wants to start? Me or you?
You go for it. Yeah, you go for it, mate.
We first met, I remember it well.
Yeah.
Good time, the good old days. I was 14, Connor was 15. We met at Merker Links.
Oh, Merker
For the
Links.
first time
I've been
properly
there.
at a Scottish golf camp. And Connor was shy and quiet. I was a wee fanny, as they say in Scotland. As they say in Scotland, still am. Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
And Connor was the only one that was laughing at all my jokes. So from there on,
Continued since then, really.
I've continued since then, and we've just got on really well. And I'd say that we're the kind of friends that like help each other on the road, keep each other's spirits high. I think golf can bring you down quite a bit. Travelling can get you down. If it's not going well, you can kind of get a bit disheartened on tour.
Yeah, naturally.
And we've always kind of had each other's backs and kind of made sure we feel all right. So
Well summed up, mate, I would say. That's exactly how I recall it as
Well, I'm
well.
starting to second guess you as a person now if you're laughing at all his jokes all the time. You know?
It started off as sympathy and it just ended up. I just had to keep running with it, really.
Yeah, no one else was doing it.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
So you were saying you're from the part where no tans happen in Scotland.
None
so,
of that-
So
none
up
of
in
that stuff.
Fife, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run us through life up there.
Well, although I was born, what do you mean, as in what my life was like
Well,
growing
yeah,
up?
you can summarise it any way you
that
like.
posture comfy?
No, this pillow is obnoxiously bulky, and I'm
that
like,
posture doesn't look
no, it's
comfy.
not. It's really not.
Move that. Get
I think
that out of the way a
I'm
wee
being
bit.
controlled
Wait,
by the mic.
Yeah, the mic.
Yeah, it can move.
Oh, so it can.
Yeah, like it's
Thank you.
it's not made of
That's why
concrete.
we're friends, Luke.
Have we?
I want to do what you were doing
Speaking
with
of
the legs.
moving things, I'm like,
I'm back now.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, two actually. I like two. Sorry, yeah.
So yeah, can you
Two.
touch them all as well, please? And put them in it? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, two. Have you not got the wee metal thing? That no shit. They didn't have the
Finger.
little metal tweezers. Yeah.
yeah, get your mitts in there.
Connor can get George.
Yeah, I'd love some ice. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Oh, cheers, brother.
Yeah, cheers. Go on.
Cheers. Drink to
Yeah.
that.
No. Do your normal one.
Well,
Do your normal one.
nah.
No, the
nah.
ships.
Fine. There are big ships. There are small ships. But there's nothing like friendships.
Oh.
Cheers. Drink
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Drink that. Drink that. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. It sounds like a
That's the Gucci swag. That.
sounds
That's
like
the
a.
Gucci swag.
So yeah, Connor. So you're from the tip.
Yeah, I'm from Fife, but then we moved down to Dumfries, which is also not great for tanning, and then moved back up to Fife. So yeah, that's been basically it. Not left Scotland. Still haven't left Scotland. Although my friend has moved out here, I didn't not made the
Although you
trip.
have thought about it
Numerous times.
numerous times. Honestly, for the last maybe 5 years since I started playing a bit better at golf, I was like, you know what? I'm out here that much practicing anyway. I might just move out here. Traveling's easier. And then 3 years ago, we were like, right, let's actually do it. So we've been here since, and every single time you've
Yeah,
been here
moving
since,
out,
you've
yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
I'm going to join,
Yeah.
and then it's still not happened. But then you finally made the call that you love home too much. You love the countryside.
I love home so much.
He loves
fair.
walking his dog in the crisp mornings.
Oh, do I love that.
Sends me videos and yeah.
I do love it out here, but I'm kind of like, I'm either all in or not, and I always find, I keep trying to say every time I'm out, I'm moving out right now, but then my wife was like to me, she's like, it doesn't have to be immediately all the time. It's just like, you might move out in a year's time or 2 years time.
I like
You know what I mean?
that. I like
so
that.
it's not dead in the water.
Good advice from your wife, I'd say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good,
Thank you.
good advice.
You got a good wife, mate, and she does, she
Got a good wife.
and she gives good advice.
That
so,
is good, mate.
yeah.
Shout out to the wife.
Shout out to the wife.
All wives around
Wow.
the world.
All wives around the world.
Yeah, all of you out there.
But yeah, so I'm still in Scotland, just living the dream.
Yeah.
We were speaking about good wives and stuff. Congratulations, I guess. Have to go. You got married last year, just after the Open.
Yep.
How was it? How's life as a married man?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Not to be fair, not honestly. Like, we've been together so long, it's not like
Nothing changes.
nothing really changes. But it is nice to, like, it still feels weird even just saying the wife. And all
I know,
that.
that's what I was
Yeah.
laughing to.
I know,
be honest.
it
I
does
was
feel
like,
weird.
what?
I know it's so grown up.
Yeah, it is. It's
Um,
almost too grown up.
It is far too grown up. But
I'm
no, yeah, life's good. And it
'Cause
was
we-
a really good day. Really good
Because
day.
we did mention your friendship and how, this blossomed from when you were 14, but you were a best man, a groomsman at his wedding. That's pretty cool as well, isn't it? How much of an honour was that?
No, that was a great honour. Connor's other, he had two best men. He had me, who's his kind of like best friend on tour, I would say, and then his like home best friend Jordan, who we got on really well as well. So it was a good little
Good trio on
yeah,
it.
good trio. And we
Good
all kind of
trifecta.
bounced off each other well. And for months before it, even I got a bit closer to Jordan, I would say as well during that, and I thought that was really nice. And yeah, just because we've known each other so well and so much and for so long and know so much about each other, it was cool to play a part in this kind of big day. Although it was tough to pass him over on his wife. Got to be done sometimes. Got to be done.
Hand him over. I heard you were MC as well.
Wow, that again.
That's a
a very,
controversial
Oh,
role.
he's
a
so
very
annoying with
Connor
this,
kind of
man.
thing. Like the day before. Actually, mate, you're going to be doing the MC.
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
day before, see, I didn't hear
Apparently,
anything.
I mean,
I'll be honest, it was the day before. I was driving there.
things go in and out of one ear until he has to hear it, and then
And I
he's
was
like,
going, mate, I've prepared a speech. I didn't know them. I didn't even know how an MC works. And he was going, mate, do you hear a bit of the speech into the MC and you're good at like talking and all that. So just say, oh, and then next talking, Alanis' mum, and she's from here, and make a wee joke here and there. And all. It was tough, but I think I
You
dealt
nailed
with
it,
it quite
mate.
well.
You nailed
Dealt
it,
with
mate.
quite
You
well,
nailed
so.
it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Made the
you're
most of
good
it.
at talking, mate. You're talking your way out of trouble.
I'm not actually.
You
Man.
are,
I'm
man.
very shy. I'm a very shy boy.
Oh, that is absolute tripe.
No, but we done. It worked out so good, and everyone had a good time and enjoyed it. So.
And the weather was actually like this. It actually was.
It was the venue was class in Edinburgh, and we had a good day, which is rare, and
Yeah,
made for some good photos, I believe.
I did, mate. I did.
Well, it's because I remember the Open being the Open was pretty treacherous weather, especially on was it the Saturday of the Open? It was
Yeah.
miserable, and they were hitting like a driver into that par 3 17 or whatever, and then. Because I had a golf trip afterwards as well. We had 3 days of just perfect sunshine as soon as the Open finished. Like, it was unbelievable. That.
Yeah. At the Open as well on the Monday, there was no wind, like perfect weather.
Yeah, it did.
Like 7-iron off the first tee, wedge in, thinking this is great
Mental,
fun.
innit?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the Saturday comes and it's like
Humming off the sea.
driver
Yeah.
6-iron.
Ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy.
And you got to meet a big man there, big Tiger Woods. I saw you met at the
I
Open.
did actually. That was really cool. I got on the putting green and I was just putting, and I heard like mad like people screaming, and I thought that's weird. And I'd never like played in the same tournament as Tiger before, so I'd
Yeah.
never heard anything like that. And turned round and not sure it's Tiger. I'm thinking that makes so much sense why people would be going that crazy. He walked literally right by me. Like I was putting like that, he walked like that. Here, could feel the aura.
Yeah, it's
And it
good, eh?
he smelled amazing. Honestly, and he walked just right by and I was thinking, oh my, I'm so nervous now. I was doing a putting drill and I was kind of like missing and he was looking and he started putting right beside me.
Okay.
Really cool. See, I'm putting that way, he's putting that way, and I've got a video of it. People were sending me videos on Instagram and all that because I was like, he was putting, we're both putting. And I thought, right, I've had enough, I'm leaving. So I'd left the putting green and I'm walking out through the sea of people, obviously not giving a care
Yeah.
about me, but waiting for Tiger. And as I walk off, I hear people going crazy again. Sure enough, he's walking right behind me.
Right.
So I thought,
Stalking you.
I
The
thought I
Tiger's
need to give my
stalking.
phone to my caddy and say, can you give me a wee picture of Tiger?
Oh, 100%.
And I says, can you, otherwise I probably wouldn't ask. He's a bit, he's got a lot going on, but it just worked out perfect timing. And I was like, Tiger, any chance a photo? And he went, pardon? And I thought, you're joking, what have I done? And he goes, and I goes, any chance of a photo, please? And he went, absolutely.
Oh,
Sat there with a
nice.
photo and he was like, hey, go get him this week. I'm like,
Go get
I
him
will
this
go and
week.
get them.
you said that, Tiger. Feeling up for this.
Go
So,
get him this week.
Yeah, so then that was it, and that was just cool. And then obviously someone you look up to all the time, so it was
Yeah.
cool to meet Tiger. And then it was a good week.
And playing at the Open must be pretty special as well.
Yeah, it was my second Open, so nice. The first one I always feel like hard because you're dealing with so much, and there's so much outside that you'll see it yourself. There's a lot
Yeah,
going on away from the course, so much
Circus,
media stuff.
yeah.
But on that Saturday, I was only person bogey free that day.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
there's
which
a
is
step.
quite a cool wee start. And yeah, I finished 22nd, and that was a great, amazing week, and something I'll always be proud of. So yeah.
Nice. And Con, I guess for you, I remember you planned your wedding the Tuesday after the Open, but unfortunately you didn't make the Open. How much drive and how much, I guess, emphasis do you put on trying to make the next Open and trying all those little goals as a golfer?
I ended up missing out by one shot. And
Oh,
our
it was
friend
mental.
Richard Mansell, he was coming to the wedding as well. But I remember I was on the fourth hole and I looked up at the thing and Richard shot like 61. I don't know, when you're just out there, I was like, you just kind of knew that was going to be the number. I don't know what he finished on, minus 12 or 13, but I was like,
Sure.
nobody, just the way he shot 61, I was like, that's going to be significant. I can kind of feel that. So I knew I was kind of pushing for that number all day to try and qualify. And then I had to birdie the last to get on that, and I had a great drive and didn't hit a great second shot in. And I ended up obviously two putting and missing out by one. But I had such a good week. I finished 15th, which is a solid result. And obviously missed out by one player, one shot, which is crazy. Because even you probably felt quite rushed, didn't you?
I was
Coming
so
straight
rushed.
from there.
Like, I felt the next day, well, we were like arranging your suit, my best man suit that he got for us. That's what's good about being a best man, you get a free suit.
Yeah, nice.
I would
Nice.
say that is a good thing of being, I was like, free suit
Well, normally
and shoes.
for any
and
wedding we've been to, how last minute have we been all the time?
so last minute. And then all of a sudden, sure enough, the week of the Open comes and I'm getting a suit delivered at my hotel
That's
Oh,
right. Actually,
brilliant.
in
to
the
try it
Open.
on
Yeah.
during the Open. I'm like, yep, mate, all good.
That's normally scripting from the company for the week, but actually no, it's your wedding suit being delivered to the door.
It was funny, and that worked out well. So I think as a golfer though, like you're always like your mind's on the golf so much, isn't it?
Yeah.
That everything else.
We're used to kind of doing things kind of
maybe not your wedding so much in the background, but
I don't know what you mean.
you feel as if like you're chasing your tail when it's away from the golf.
Yeah, but then I think we deal with things like travel and all that way easier because you're so used to it. You're just like, oh, you don't think twice about getting a flight. Oh, I'll go to Dubai tomorrow.
Yeah.
But actually, if you're for people that don't travel, it's like, oh, that's planned months in advance because you've got to be that organised. But we're just always on the go.
And you feel like less doesn't like phase you as much. It's quite good.
Definitely.
You mentioned you're one of 4, so you've got 3 sisters.
Yeah.
What's it like, I guess, you know, as a sportsman, as an older brother, coming up with 3 sisters? Are they into their sport? Like, it must be a pretty cool relationship.
Yeah. I think they all tried to golf when they were younger, but where we grew up in Dumfries, it was only really them that played golf as females anyway. So I think they just kind of almost didn't have enough competition, or their friends weren't really doing it, so they kind of lost the passion for it. My oldest, the middle of the 3, she plays a bit of netball. They've not really, unfortunately, not got it. They all swing it so good though, because obviously they've all been coached from my dad from a young age. They've all got good swings, but
they're all like athletic, aren't they?
Aye,
but they're just like girly girls. Just have fun. And
so they never.
they're into fashion.
Yeah,
and
so that's the thing. That one of them's into fashion now. She's doing really well, and but yeah, they're all down in London, so it's only me up in Scotland now. Yeah.
Well, we did mention your dad in his underwear earlier, but we probably should mention him from a professional perspective. How cool is it to have been coached by your dad throughout a lot of your career and getting to those key moments and the Open with him and stuff? That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, really special, yeah. I mean, I think I was much more into football when I was younger, to be honest, and...
we don't want to talk about Rangers at the moment,
no,
do we?
No, I wasn't even going to go there, to be honest. I did have trials for Rangers, though. We'll get that in there.
Oh, you might still make it by the looks of it.
Probably just about.
See, him's going well.
Look, we've had a few injuries and stuff. We'll be back. We will be back. Always have faith in your team. But no, I was much more into football, but I think from what my dad and my whole family were really good at, like my dad obviously being a golfer, I was never forced into doing it. And I think that's why I'm even doing it now, is because I wanted to. I found it by myself, and I was playing football for Queen of the South at the time, like a local team in Dumfries where I grew up, and I just was like, obviously we're right down the bottom of Scotland. I remember we'd be playing teams like Elgin, and it's like 6-hour drive, but you'd meet halfway, and then you'd only get half an hour. I'm like, oh, this is brutal for a Sunday, like the whole Sunday kind of gone. But eventually just fell in love with golf, and my dad's kind of coached me from there and got me into it. And he did have to bribe me at the start though. I remember I remember playing the Scottish under-14s, and like Ewen would have been there playing, and it still wasn't my love at that point.
I remember that,
he was like, right son, if I get you this Black Series Odyssey putter out the shop, and I'd always like seen it in the shop, and will you go and play? And I was like, right, fine, I'll go and play if you get me that putter. And I remember I played the Glen, which is of course just outside of North Berwick, and I hold like a 30-footer for a 6. So at that point really I wasn't destined for great golf, to be honest. I shot 96.
The putter worked off.
The putter worked off. Well, I knew the putter was going to work. I could tell that in the shop. But
you've come a long way.
But if I'm honest, from that though, I did fall in love with it at that point. He was so right. I never honestly, I didn't want to go and play at all. Yeah, but he was right to push me to go.
I remember when, sorry, butting in there.
No,
when I was like 14 and I got drawn with you.
That's right,
at a tournament at St Andrews Eden course, and I was thinking, buzzing, play my
corner.
corner.
Was you and Greg Marchbank?
Yeah, he was another good player, and you didn't turn up for the tee times. We played in the 2.
Late again.
This was on purpose, by the way.
After it, I was like, what happened? He was like, I knew I was playing, but I didn't want to tell my dad because when I got all the stuff through, I thought I had a football game that day, so I thought I'll just patch it, and I was like...
So you think from that point, like I obviously... We were both kind of in the Scottish team at that point, but I actually did want to play football that weekend, so I said to my dad it was group coaching. So obviously he was still my coach, and the group coaching, I knew I'd get him with that. He'd be like, that's fine, you don't need to go with that, son, that's all right. And I ended up, I was supposed to play with Ewen and Greg Marchbank, so they were both like doing really well with Scottish golf at that point. Again, I remember that I was still in my bed because we weren't leaving football till that point, and he's like, you said you had group coaching, you were golfing today. And anyway, I ended up having to drive from Dumfries up to St Andrews 3 hours. They put me out last. I shot 96 again. Actually, I think about shooting 96. I had a random putter in the bag, this gel putter. I don't even know what it was. Again, found in the shop. 4-putted the first. I was like, oh my god.
Here we
go. Got the Odyssey back out.
I should have got the Odyssey back out.
No, to be fair, 4 under 100 is no bad.
So I was
going off. How'd you go? It's like 4 under, mate.
No, I was at a thing about shooting 96. I swear I was better than that, but obviously these Scottish events just weren't for me at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was after that more into golf.
Yeah, nice. And coming through the amateur golf ranks together, Yubo, you won the amateur championship. Like, that must have been a huge moment for your career. Like, what's it like going through all that together and then winning significant events like that?
Yeah, I won the boys amateur championship. And it was really good. Again, went through the full practice days with you. Remember, like, getting ready for it, and then we were both doing well in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then went on to win it, which was unexpected at the time. To be fair, I felt like that was a bit of a step up at that point. But I feel like that's when golf, it just shocks you the most, doesn't it? Like, you think like, oh, you know, that they're better, or whatever, and then you kind of, if you keep practicing towards it and getting ready for it and believing, then it just kind of happens at some point. So that was obviously really good to win, and just like amateur golf at the time feels like everything. Like, it feels like your full life.
Yeah.
Because I still felt the same way about golf and tournaments then, like I do now.
Yeah.
Like, I put the same stuff into it. I was so passionate about golf, and you know, it meant as much to me then, even though you're playing for money now and all that stuff. It felt like, even though when I missed a cut in an amateur event, or a bogeyed the last, or three-putted the last, I'd still be as hurt then as I was now. And
Yeah.
it's almost kind of held me in good stead, because I feel like I've just kind of naturally progressed, and I've not been like phased at any point, because I've always cared so much.
Yeah, nice. And that leads into some Walker Cup memories, some of which are better than others. But we'll probably start with you there. You got called in last minute straight in, and then you guys dominated. How cool was, I guess, playing in that stage? Because at the time, that is huge, and it still is.
Yeah, Walker Cup's massive. Probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest. It's like the Ryder Cup of amateur golf. It feels like that. There's so much media around it. Loads of people come and watch. I went to watch it at Royal Aberdeen. My granddad drove me up. But I remember thinking that was just amazing. And then I remember, like, I met Trump that week as well.
Oh, yeah?
He wasn't. Remember, you'd been there. Got a picture with Trump. Can't find it near enough. But no, it was really good. And I remember after that, like, seeing the players that played going on to like be like, and I thought, oh my god, like, I need to play in that before I turn professional. I just loved the atmosphere, the vibe. And I remember meeting like an old guy. I can't remember. I don't know who it was. And he was wearing like a Walker Cup jacket, and he was from like bloody 19 God knows when.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I played the Walker Cup back then, and I just thought, how cool is that to be a part of like history of that tournament? And like, all of a sudden, like, I still get emails now when the Walker Cup's on saying, you know, you're more than welcome to come back and playing it, or not playing it, sorry, join in on the celebrations or commiserations, and like be part of the opening ceremony, all that stuff.
Nice.
So it's really cool. But yeah, we played in 2015, and I was youngest player in the team, both teams, and just a brilliant time. I think my Walker Cup was at Royal Lytham in St Anne's, which kind of suits us.
Yeah.
Wind, you know, like dealing with like the kind of shots, and we battered them, which was brilliant. Against a good team, DeChambeau and Maverick McNeely and Bo Hostler and these guys. Connor's Walker Cup was in the States in LA, which is probably set up for the kind of guys.
Yeah.
But
thanks, mate.
I'll let you.
Wow.
I'll let you.
Well, like he mentioned like the names that come from it, and like, for example, you got to play against Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Like, when you played it against him 1-on-1, you only just lost.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine him doing what he's doing today? It's crazy.
I mean,
Can't you believe it?
but it is. I don't think you could predict what like that. It's insane how well he's done, and even obviously his progression to pro golf was like quite normal almost. To then what he's doing now is insane.
We were looking. Morikawa was in that team as well,
the team was like Colin Morikawa, Will Zalatoris, Doug, Maverick McNeely played in that one as well. Like, so loads of, I think all of them were on tour at one point or something like that. It's so impressive. So yeah, we were up against it. But I was 2 up on Scotty with 6 to play.
Oh.
And back then it was his putting though. That, like, I know obviously he's been has been his long game that's been so like streets and streets ahead of everybody. But his putting at that point was crazy. Like, because I think your example about playing it with him, that's obviously what we're used to playing, was like links golf, and
slower greens, like
yeah.
flatter greens almost.
Yeah, and I remember he won a couple of holes. I think we're all square on the 15th. There's like a really short par 3, and he hit a decent shot onto the green at a 30-footer. And I was watching where he was aiming. I was like, well, I hope you put it there, mate. That looks class for me. And then just tapped it, and it was like honestly like a 2-foot putt. I was like, oomph, 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 off in the hole. I'm like, how is that? But we just, if I'm honest, that was the biggest difference. Is like we just couldn't see lines like that, and hadn't putted on greens that were like 14, 15 on the stump. They were so fast.
Slopey and,
and then he won the next hole, and I won the 17th with a par, I think, and up the last I hit 2 good shots in, and I had like an 8-footer or something to tie the match. But I remember thinking it was my last putt as an amateur golfer, and just didn't quite make it. Unfortunately, it was a big sloper, and again, that's probably an example where you're just not used to putting and seeing it that high to make it fall in. But there was so many amazing players that week. You couldn't really pick who was maybe going to do the best, but obviously loads of them done well. But it's cool to say that although it didn't go well, to be part of the Walker Cup team playing in America, it was definitely memories that will always live with me, even though they weren't the fondest on the golf course. But
sometimes I know the winning's amazing, but it's just like being a part is like one of the biggest deals. Like you learn so much, and it gives you like a wee bit of a platform when you turn pro. The Walker Cup, doesn't it? Like,
definitely.
I mean, I remember I was pro when he played in that Walker Cup, and then like you got like Dunhill Links, Portugal Masters, and finished like 12, 15th in the event. Like you wouldn't, without Walker Cup, you're probably not getting that.
Definitely not. And I think that was that. Like you say, it gives you a platform to then go and build on. So you've got invites probably based on the based off playing in that, and
good sponsors, all that kind of stuff.
So it definitely gave me a good bit of confidence, and then helped me start my pro golf kind of well, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a good segue, really, because you've got the glory and the fun of amateur golf where everything's bright and breezy, things going well. How hard is that transition? Because it's not all smooth sailing sometimes, is it? Like, how hard was it to become an amateur and then be settled on tour?
I think
well,
our experiences were so different, but you go for it.
I found it really tough. Like, I found when I was an amateur, like you're playing in like US Amateur and Oakland Hills and Olympia Fields and these amazing big venues in the States, and British amateurs, big amateur events all around the world, Australia, and you're getting treated like a tour pro and amazing, and you're getting fresh pro Vs on the range, everything's there for you, you're feeling like you're a pro already. And then all of a sudden, like when I turned pro and I was playing like everything, you're starting again, I'm thinking I think it's just gonna go roll on. Turn pro and like you get Dunhill Links and stuff like that, and it's like brilliant, but it's like you kind of a bit sad because you're thinking I'm only gonna get that 1 week, and then the next week you're in Cairo playing an event with like range balls and no one watching, not what you had in your mind anyway, and it's just feels you're playing like courses and you're landing in airports and driving 4 hours to get somewhere and no one's ever heard of before in Italy, and the course is not great or whatever you're playing. And I found it hard to think like, how was I doing that and now I'm doing starting again almost. But in a way, like when I managed to get out here through Challenge Tour and get on even from there on Challenge Tour, appreciated like how lucky I was and how amazing things were out here. And I felt like I did know deep down that my game was good enough to get there, but it's almost getting through the hurdles of the tough parts. I mean, I remember hiring a car for the first time in a country. I'm driving the other side of the road and just feeling like almost homesick. I don't want to do this actually. This isn't what I had in my mind. Really tough. And then obviously here now and all good. And then Connor's start as a pro was very different than that. I remember when he turned pro and I was thinking to myself, holy smokes, like it just took off. And I thought it was really tough. And you
like after turning pro after Walker Cup, I was on such a high from that, and then like Ewan was saying, I had 2 or 3 really, really good results. Straight away I finished 12th in my first start in Portugal, and then 15th in the Dunhill, and then I got a start and made the cut in Valderrama as well, and I was I think just playing well at the time, and I think I'd got to second stage through my world amateur ranking at that point, and was able to get through second stage and then got my card.
That was quite cool in that third start in Spain though, when like because he signed with Adidas, Sergio sorted you out the invite.
Yeah, I know, it was
I
cool.
remember like, wow, how cool was that?
I know, it was awesome. So to go from having like just playing amateur golf like a few weeks ago to then having my DP World Tour card, European Tour card at the time. If I'm honest, I didn't think, because obviously it was my goal to try and do that, but I don't think I really realised at the time how much of a big deal it was, because I don't remember thinking at second stage like, oh, if I don't get through this, I'm going to have nothing. You know, I didn't ever really have that reality of the situation. Maybe like almost.
Might have helped you.
Aye, like not naive or whatever the word would be, but like just blissfully unaware of like what pro golf was like, because I was just starting, and yeah, obviously to get my card straight away, it's kind of jumped in the deep end a little bit, I suppose. And I did struggle in my first year. I didn't. I had a second place. I hold an amazing putt like across the 18th in Austria to go from tied second to second. That was such a big jump up the rankings and stuff at the time, but didn't quite play solid enough, and I ended up finishing 126, which just lost my card. And like I think I was still like 23 at the time, so I decided to go back and play Challenger at that point. I was still could have probably played like 18 to 20 events out in the main tour, but I felt like it was, you know, still young to try and go back and hopefully learn how to be up the top end of the leaderboard a little bit more and stuff like that. And you know, going back to Q school then as a pro and knowing what I had like in 2018, I was like, this was actually a pretty big deal that I was able to do that the first time. And I didn't manage to get my card back then, but then got it back through Challenge Tour, and then I've been on tour since, which has been cool. But yeah, obviously there's going to be ups and downs in your career, and I was just lucky it kind of started off so well. Like I couldn't have asked for more almost.
Yeah, because I kind of one thing I wanted to bring up, and it's like people always ask me when you go home, like, oh, you know, how often do the boys get this, or do they get free this, and all that sort of stuff. Like, what are some of the expenses that probably we don't really talk about in golf? So for example, you go out there, you have a good week, you have a good prize check. Like, what some people at home probably don't realise is the money that goes into paying for the flights, accommodation, your caddies, your physios. So like, run me through it. I want some sort of dirty details here.
Well,
like, so
if you're paying the amount of people he's got on his team, then
so like,
can I get some financial advice actually?
Yeah, someone needs to talk to him about it.
You know, you pay your caddy a percentage. Everyone's different. You know, a caddy percentage, coach a percentage. Some, like I've got a putting coach as well, and then gym guy, psychologist maybe. So
will some guys have a caddy that's like, hey, for the whole year, I'll give you, let's say 2 or 10% or whatever that number is.
Yeah.
Or is it a retainer? Or would some golfers go, actually, I might just stay on a retainer for you?
Do you pay? Well, it might be different in different tours and stuff like that, but I think out here typically it's like you would agree a wage with your caddy, and then you would agree a percentage. So like,
right.
You maybe give them enough to still make some money. If you didn't make a cut, they would still have something coming in.
A weekly wage to give them to like for travel and expenses and all that stuff, and then your percentage on top of that. You can agree like, you know, 7% or 8% all over the board, then a 10% of a win.
And am I right in saying coaches? There'll be a coach will coach a handful of golfers. Will you all contribute to help fund some of his flights, for example? So it's like, or like who flies a coach somewhere?
They would get like a retainer again, smaller amount than a caddy, and then a percentage too. So like, again, I think that seems to cover it quite well, and then they'll always, you know, maybe have a guy that does really well, and then that balances out. But enough to cover the.
You win some, you lose some weeks.
Yeah.
And
then for us, I guess it's well, that's the pressure side of things. Is like sometimes you forget you're the boss a little bit, where it's like, oh, you're in charge of. You know, if you've got a team of people, it's kind of relying on you playing well, and like, you know, your prize check is then divvied up amongst that. So yeah.
What's some of the biggest expenses that you sometimes just go, oh my God, like this is like, what am I doing here? What is like the most expensive part?
Flights and hotels.
Flights and hotels.
This like some weeks though, you're like, you know, you're in like South Africa and you're buying a steak in an amazing restaurant, and it's some weeks I feel like it equals itself out in the end. You go to like Singapore some weeks and you're like, God.
He's pretty good though, I must admit. I buy all the dinners in Switzerland, and he buys all the dinners in South Africa. So that's how it typically goes.
Smart man.
I'll get this, mate. I'll get this.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
work smart and not hard.
I'm actually in debt time. I'll get that next time. Don't see him for a few weeks. Switzerland fondue, perfect.
I actually got that one then.
I'm joking.
Honestly, out with us two and our his wife and my girlfriend, and it was my night to buy, and sure enough, bloody fondue and all sorts of stuff.
It was like 300 euros.
Night before when bloody Burger King.
No, but that that went wrong because we were trying to order fondue, but we didn't know what it was called.
That's
So we were
right,
trying
yeah.
to point at like that guy's table, and they brought out something
We
completely
brought out
random.
all sorts of stuff,
So we're
so I had
trying
to pay for it all anyway.
Oh
Um,
no.
nightmare. But it was my night off the bill, so I was quite happy for it. But
He was sitting there laughing, going like,
he
"That's
gets
shit," you know?
impatient. It was so easy to just be like, we didn't have that, and then remember we gave that back. He's just like, I don't care, get me out of here, and you would just pay it. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
But no, I just didn't want to be like.
No, I get it because
language
the guy
barrier and all that.
it was, we were trying to sort it, but like
Yeah.
I would be more like, right, I need to get this fixed. Whereas
I just always have that, like, you win some, you lose some.
that's
No,
the,
I'll tell
that is,
you.
but I like that mentality
Yeah.
about it is because I guess we did kind of have it at the start, although we didn't want it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you're just much more carefree
Yeah.
mentality.
And, like,
Right, we'll get it back at some point.
Yeah, because I'll go into the mini fridge and like raid the mini fridge in the hotel and just go like and take it, and he's like, you can't be spending a £5 on a Coke, mate. I'm like, oh, calm yourself.
I'm not as bad as some folk, but yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
But then,
All right.
but you won't be just shy on the, just like invest in yourself
Yeah,
with
yeah.
big things. But then like a £5 for a can of Coke, he's like, oh my god.
It's funny.
And I guess the better you get at golf, the more free stuff you get as well, right? So like, I always find it funny when people at the pub go, oh, how often do they get new clubs? And how often do they get new that? So like, run us through that. Wedges, how often do you get new wedges? Every 3 months, 2 or 3 months?
2 or 3 weeks.
Well, putters, wedges.
I've still got that bug. I really enjoy new kit.
Yeah.
So I get new clubs and putters and.
I was just talking to the Titleist guys today. We were on going like, he's some boy.
Ah,
It's like he is
The
relentless
new
with the putters.
manufacturing deal, and
Yeah.
you're already causing
No,
I
but it's
just
just the
love it.
putter. You love putters.
I love putters because
If-
they're so like. They make so many different ones and different
Chic.
types and different faces and different necks, and I'm like, and see if because some ones you get out here that are like prototypes and you can't buy them in shops, like if
You
it's a
get
rare
that-
one,
That's where they get them. You go to them, you can't get this in the shop. He's like, right, give me 3 of them.
yeah, and I just like want the kind of that kind of stuff because I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then
But
I
we've
just-
always been like that since we were
always-
younger. We just love like you. I think anyone that's into golf, you like things
Yeah,
that
you
like,
like
it's
the-
hard to get,
yeah.
or it's like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
putter.
yeah.
Have you seen that? No, it's
I
just
struggle
out.
to play if my like glove isn't like new
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
We're all a bit like
I
that
know, I
though.
know, I
Because
know.
I guess for the punters at home, like, golf's very expensive. Like,
Yeah,
you go to
it
a
is,
pro
yeah.
shop or you go anywhere and it's like, oh yeah, so here's a glove, or you come back and give them a polo and they're like fizz, but it's quite an expensive thing. So
Yeah.
it is kind of cool to get that stuff,
Well,
isn't it?
I've I've got a dartboard at home, and then like I begrudge definitely like I'm like
Why are you ranting to bring a dartboard?
no,
up?
but I'll explain like obviously playing at
He's absolutely rotten at darts.
I'm
by the
so
way.
bad at darts. I love look like
Like,
but
why
I'm
are
so
you
bad
talking
at
about
this.
darts
No,
now?
it was just because I wanted to say because like buying kit for a sport that like I'm not very good, but I like want to be good.
Yeah.
And I know I have to invest in it to be better, and it's like, oh, do I really need those 150 quid darts?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I do
Get
need
them,
them.
mate. They work better.
Maybe that's why I'm not any better,
Exactly.
but I get it from, but that we are very lucky because you do get a lot
Yeah,
of golf.
like,
kit.
the way I am is like similar. Like once we get into something, we're all in.
Yeah.
And it's like I got into like paddle tennis for a bit, and all of a
Oh,
sudden I'm
nice.
like rocking down with like the best paddle stuff you can get.
And does
Still-
it help me? Did
still-
that
still
help? No.
No,
No.
rotten. But then when I walk down there, I think guys actually look at me and think
He must
he
be
must
good.
be class.
Oh, yeah.
And then they see my serve and they're like, no, he's no.
Right.
But
So
You
you,
were
like-
telling me you were getting quite good as well.
I know,
You've taken a year off
I
though.
just
You've
said
taken a year
that.
off.
Just said that.
Did you? I believed you as well.
I know.
I was
well,
telling
Levi,
my
we've got a lot of
mate's
pedal players out here as well, actually.
It's good fun. No, it's good fun.
Okay, so new wedges every what? Let's run through this relatively. New wedges every 2 or 3 weeks for you, but
good. I'm like every, I don't know, a couple of months probably.
Couple of months?
I think the 60. You change the 60
Yeah,
more
you
often.
would change the 60. And set irons, I could
Go
go
all
a year,
Yeah.
maybe,
I'd probably
sometimes
go
longer.
2 a year.
Yeah.
2 sets of irons a year.
You're forcing the other one in, really, aren't you? Just
Yeah,
as a wee-
yeah. Just because you can.
Just because you can, I suppose.
yeah.
yeah.
So 6 months for the irons, maybe even 8 months for the irons.
Yeah.
Just to get a fresh set
Yeah.
before the home swing. Driver,
Not
it's
hard-
working,
if you
no.
like,
no,
like,
never.
is that less often if you've got a humdinger?
Once a year, or you'd want
Unless
to
the
do once a
new
year.
one comes out genuinely, or you break, or it cracks, you're generally not changing it.
And there's obviously new drivers every year. Are you forced to change drivers for sponsorship reasons? Like, I see TaylorMade, for example, bring out these new drivers. Does like Rory and stuff, do they have to use that driver, or can you still?
Everyone's got different like things in their contract.
Yeah.
So changes, but usually if they give you like a grace period, don't
Yeah.
they? Where like we'll give you like a few months to like work it into your game,
your
and
bag.
if it's working, that one's working, it's fine as long as it's the same brand, really.
Yeah.
Seem quite chill.
Because if
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
an old sweetheart that you don't want to get rid of, you're not going
Yeah.
to get rid of it, right?
I think they do, like, I'm with Ping and they bring out a driver every couple of years, and like, typically it is better.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
more
So-
like you will get into it. It's more like a 3-wood or a 7-wood. Sometimes I feel like they're almost harder to change because it's like, it was quite hard to find like a really one that sits amazing and you like.
Yeah.
So you'd probably find that pros could end up using that for way longer as like a 3 or a change the driver more than they would like a 3-wood or a 7-wood or a 5-wood. I think harder to replace.
Yeah. All right. Well, just to slowly wrap things up, I guess like having you guys here has made us all realise like how good Scottish golf is at the moment. You've got Bob McIntyre doing his thing as well, obviously. He's had a hell of a year last year. Like, how cool is it to be, I guess, ambassadors for the game of Scotland and flying the flag, and how excited are you for the next few years of Scottish golf in general?
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I think the good thing, like being from Scotland and it being the home of golf, brings a bit of like you're proud to represent that country because it's like the home of golf, and you know people always tell you that, and you definitely feel that when you're walking like in the streets of St Andrews and stuff. We've all been there. It feels amazing, and you feel a bit of pride. So no, it's cool to try and you got the Saltire beside your name. You try and do your best, and ultimately though you're playing for yourself. But you know we all love representing our country as well, don't we?
Yeah, and I guess from there, like, it'd be remiss of me not to mention, looking into your DP World Tour victories now. Can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. I've got distracted by all sorts, but you're on 3 victories. Con, still yet to break through. I want to start with you.
Yeah.
We talked about how your rise to professional golf was great. How hard is it to then win on tour? Because, yeah, it's all well and good to be consistent and on tour, but like, how hard and how stressful or how different it is to try and make that next step into the winner's circle?
You know, it's like obviously I've had quite a lot of top 10s, and I've obviously been in the position to do it. It just hasn't quite happened, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next opportunity, getting to draw on the stuff that I've learnt from previous times, and hopefully I can do it next time I'm in that position. But you know, I believe I will do it at some point. Just I don't know when, and hopefully I can do it soon.
And like, speaking of winning in your career, like I always like asking, what is, if you sit back in 20 years time and look at your golfing career, what is success for you? Like, what are you going to look back and go, oh, I've won one major or one DP World Tour event? What would you like to look back on and say that, yeah, I'm stoked with what I've been through and what I've achieved?
Very, very good question, to be fair.
Yeah, and you both start thinking, because it's coming your way soon as well.
It's tough to say. There's like so many things that you want to do. You know, I see that question a lot from like maybe guys that have won a lot. I think I saw something like Jason Day. It was like, would you rather win another 10 times on tour or win a major? And they were answering like, I think Jason Day said he would rather win 10 more times, and then someone else was like they wanted to win a major. I don't know. I think so many big dreams like you have since you were a kid. It's all about like putting to win the Open and you know, to win the Masters. All that stuff is still a dream to be able to do all that. I still have to get there and get in there. Obviously, I've played in a few majors, but yeah, just I think as a golfer, you're always dreaming of like doing amazing things. So I don't think that'll ever stop. So as for something to be satisfied on, I don't really know. I'd love to. Obviously, the first step would be to try and get a win, and then we can start like just try to dream a little bit more really, and trying to do amazing things. But like you say, it's I'm obviously not satisfied with my career to this point. I'm happy. I'm doing well. But you'd always want a bit more. And but I think that's what golf does to you. Always makes you hungry for more. I think even it'll be interesting to see what Ewen says. But having won 3 times, I'm sure he's you know almost not. You know, you'll be satisfied with that, but you'll be wanting more still as well, aren't you? It's like your keeps you wanting more.
Yeah, I feel like what makes me feel really like satisfied is the fact that every week you've got a chance to live out your dream.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you've got a chance every week, even just being here, like making all the people that got you to this position proud.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's almost enough for me in itself. I know it sounds a bit, I don't know, like cliche or a bit like boring, but it does make me happy that like every time I tee up, you know, all the people that helped me get here are watching at home buzzing. So proud when I tee up on Thursday. They'll be so happy. I know your family the same with you, and sometimes that's enough. Like, just teeing it up in the open was enough for my dad watched me in the first tee in the stand. He'd been there before watching everyone else, and that was enough for him. He was absolutely buzzing. He watched the 18 holes. I made the cut, and I can't believe he made the cut. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, I know, but I want to do, but he's, so sometimes that is kind of the main thing. Winning and stuff like that is amazing as well, and I think, like, everyone thinks there's like a secret recipe, and sometimes that secret recipe is just a bit of luck. Like, I know, like, my first win in Qatar, didn't even think I had a chance of winning. All of a sudden, I chip in for eagle, hole a massive putt in the last, and it's like, oh, I won. But you just kind of like pop up, and it just happens. And every week when someone wins, they got lucky somewhere. Absolutely, they've had a bad drive, it's stayed in play, they've got a good lie, they've holed a massive putt, it's slipped in, they've chunked a bunker shot and it's rolled up and smacked the pin and went in. There's always a wee bit of something that you just need to go your way. And I hope more times that happens to me and Connor for years to come, and we've had a few battles down the stretch as well.
Yeah, I finished one of the ones I finished second to Ewen in
that's
Northern
right.
Ireland.
In Northern Ireland, and I remember on 17, like, I pushed it and overfaded it into a bunker, tough tee shot. Connor was middle of the fairway, and we're like nip and tuck. I'm like 2 ahead at that point, and it like bounced out the bunker and stayed up on top of the lip.
Yeah.
And I managed to like hit a shot on the green, 2 putt for par. I'm on the last, and I'm like, par 5 tee shot. You can have a little bit of break here and there, and like, golf's such a long career as well. Like, you want to be playing until you're, 40 odds. That would be a kind of good career, wouldn't it? And everyone gets their little spell at some point. I've had a good spell there, and I hope it continues. And I hope we both have good spells to come, and try and notch up more victories and more, like, just special moments. Like, even like at Wentworth this year, I finished 15th, and I always watched that event and wanted to do well there, and everyone was buzzing for me just to finish 15th.
Yeah.
So again, didn't win, but it's like a little win on its own.
Nice. Well, we'll certainly be watching and hoping. Funnily enough, actually, the last podcast we did was with Paul Waring, and he said he just wanted one more victory. That's all he wanted, and he got it 4 or 5 days later in Abu Dhabi. So good luck. This is a good place to be.
Is Rory playing?
Yeah, Rory's here. Yeah, like, you guys are stuffed. But no, honestly, boys, like, well, there we go. You'd think I'd learned by now. But no, honestly, like, awesome to have you boys here, and I guess hear about the ups and downs and the roller coaster of being a pro golfer. And also great to hear that you boys have been mates for so long, you've delivered on the stage for so long, and we hope you can keep going, because I'm sure everyone back home and around the world is enjoying watching it. So good luck for the 2025 season, and thanks very much for the time, boys.
Cheers for having us.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Golf clap.